just to give you all a little bit of a sense, it's very hard. I know that we've been in this room for the last 3 days, and every morning my team and I come in and say, okay, there's a crowded room, that's not bad, and then by day 3, at the end of the evening, we say, there's still people. So to survivors, exactly. Yes, but to have sustained interest, to have ensured that you all found the conversations engaging is also a different kind of storytelling. So I'd like to believe that, my team did a very good job at putting some of this together. But that aside, I think... But that aside, I think what's interesting is, we all started when we asked questions to different panelists. A lot of them were about what's going on online, how do we engage with the kind of vitriol, extremism, hate. And I remember when I spoke to some of these students last year in the business of mentoring them, the one thing that I said is, if you're trying to get a positive message out in a climate that perhaps is not receptive, you will potentially be at the receiving end of what we all call trolling on social media. We're all guilty of it, and we're all victims of it as well. So don't be disheartened. It takes a thick skin, and it takes some amount of confidence to be able to go out there and be true to your convictions, even if people are trying to shout you down and not listen. And I think for students to stay sustained with that kind of initiative is indeed quite commendable. So without further ado, if I can just pull up some of the slides of the students and show you what teams have made it to our event. As I said, 10 teams are here because they were committed to their campaigns. They also, the judging criteria was on the basis of their originality, whether their work could be scaled up, whether they understood the concept of counter speech and counter messaging. So various different criteria. Let me pull some of them up for you. These are, we've asked them to actually give us posts of the most popular posts over a 6-month period and what they learned. I think, Shreya, can we just go back a little? We're going a little fast. So if I can just, I don't know, can you all see what's going on? Yeah. So we had, this is Team Antaratma. They are from the L&M Institute of Information Technology in Jaipur. They used posters, poetry, videos, animated shorts to help readers and viewers differentiate what they thought was right from wrong, their own idea, what they believed was orthodoxy and radicalism, and to be able to understand the differences between the two. Let's move on to the next one. These are just their most popular posts. So, yeah. This is Team Paxaholics. They are from Mumbai. Their idea was to try and understand what extremism means to different people from different walks of life. And as you see, some of their posts did extremely well. I don't think I have that kind of traction on my Facebook page that some of these kids do. I'm going to borrow your followers and your users really quickly as well, okay? All right, move on. So this is what they said that they learned. Minimalism. So keep it simple. I think that's what they really meant to say. Keep your posts simple. Ensure that there is quality. You don't have to bombard every minute of every day, but make sure that what you're saying actually makes sense. This team is called, they call themselves Consistency Film Production, but their Facebook page was called Drag Me Not, which was an anti-ragging page. And I think that's very interesting. When we talked to them about countering violent extremism and what violent extremism meant to so many of them, not everyone came up with the answer of terrorism. Some talked about discrimination, some talked about bullying, some talked about cyberbullying, and various other aspects. So it meant a lot of different things to a lot of different people. And this was an interesting campaign because they actually did not address the issue that we've been talking about in this room, which is terrorism and violent extremism, or radicalization and violent extremism, but just the simple act of going into college on your first day and being bullied by your seniors. I think it was a very interesting campaign as well. Yeah, this is something called the blunt knife. These people, they call themselves the Late Night Beatles, and I'm still curious as to why the team name is Late Night Beatles. I think it's because they're probably working very late into the night, from Jamshedpur. Now, it's also very interesting to note that a lot of these teams who've made it to our shortlist of 10 are not from, Delhi and Mumbai and Chennai and Calcutta, but many of the smaller towns where there is an impetus on education, where universities are prominent. And I think perhaps they're not bombarded every day by the constant noise of urban metros as well. So it gives them a little space to think. This team focused on cyber extremism as a whole, they said. They made an attempt to counter what they called were misleading messages. We talked about fake news early in the morning as well on social media. The Peace Engineers, very interesting team from the National Institute of Technology from Jammu and Kashmir. Sometimes it's always people who are in the heart of the conflict who are able to grasp what needs to be done the most effectively. And the Peace Engineers were very committed to taking up what they believe was the harmful impact of violent extremism on society around them. And again, the most popular post. This team, I'm going to mess up saying this name, but it's Oija. There you go. Okay, Swati knows the name. It's from the hills of Uttarakhand. They come from a small town in Almora. They tried to explain the meaning of CVE by filing their own ground reports. And they talked to different people. They put up interviews on their page. It was a very innovative campaign.
Ija is the mother, so they're actually talking to the mother.
There you go. We have two Pahadis over here who are telling us what it actually means. Yeah. Okay, let's move on. And this team, the Grey Army, Team Alpha, that's what they call themselves. They are from Hyderabad and Secunderabad, the twin cities of Hyderabad and Secunderabad. They started their campaign with the idea to share opinions from people who understand the impact of violent extremism better. Interesting as well because Hyderabad is one of the cities where India's ISIS detainees have actually been arrested come from, and there is a situation where they can work on the ground to scale up this campaign as well. Yeah? And this is Team Exterminus from Pondicherry in the south. Their main focus was to create awareness on how family members can intervene and prevent radicalization in the home. We talked this morning about radicalization being a process, what kind of role the family parents play in this. We talked about how in India, parents have been at the front lines of actually reporting some radicalization as well. So that was interesting. And this was, this was the team from Lady Shri Ram College in Delhi. I have to say, my compliments to you because you were the only team that looked at violence against women and the issue of gender. It was a campaign against online abuse that women face. The Troll Patrol, keep doing the good work. I think your voice is also extremely important. Yeah? Shreya, that's it, right? No, there's one more, okay. Anti-bullisms. One more on cyber terrorism from the New Law College in Pune, and cyberbullying, sorry, not cyber terrorism, cyberbullying. We talked about Drag Me Not, which was on ragging on campus. This is on cyberbullying. I urge you, we'll give you a list of all their Facebook pages. I urge you to go and take a look at them and add to the followers that they're already gathering. I hope there are many in this room who are logging on as we speak, actually, and encouraging them to not just give up this campaign because, you know, we're here tonight and it's the finale and Voice Positive is quote unquote over, but I think Voice Positive is about creating positive voices. I know many people think that this may not be the most effective way of countering violent extremism, but I don't know whether it's effective or not. I do think it is necessary. All right. I think now we can call Vani up on stage and announce our winners. There's a lot of suspense in the room because, you know, they don't know who they are, but we'll all find out shortly. So they don't know who the winners are. The 10 teams have no idea. No match fixing, I assure you. Yeah? Okay, so I'm going to go. We've chosen the top 3 teams, and I'm going to go second runner-up, first runner-up, and the winner. So the second runner-up, Team Alpha, please come up on stage. The Grey Army from Hyderabad to get their own communities to understand violent extremism.
And you were a minority, right? The only guy in the team. Yeah.
Congratulations. Very well.
This one's for you, Vani. The first runner-up, Oija, was that the one? Yes? Stay to Change. From Almora in the hills of Uttarakhand, they're trying to do ground reporting, get people in their own communities to understand what violent extremism is. Well done, guys.
No match fixing here, promise.
And the best for last, as I said, people who live in the heart of the conflict often understand what it is to find peace. So peace engineers, please come up. From Kashmir, this is the team from NIT Srinagar. Well done. And please keep the campaigns going.
I'd like to say something about that.
Please come.
Wait, just wait. So my other half is being a Tikku, which is I'm married to a Kashmiri Pandit family. And I would like to share it with them that when I saw their page, the first thing that struck about me was that this was one of the most hope-giving campaigns I had ever seen as far as the valley and those districts of Srinagar is concerned which are supposed to be very troubled. Not only have they stuck the neck out, they've also taken the courage, and we've heard this word jihadi and jihadi Islam a lot today since the time that I've also been present in the room. I have to grant it to this team that they actually stuck their neck out, showed the courage, and actually did a completely not counter narrative, but a new narrative as far as Islam and the valley is concerned. So congratulations to you for that.
And I want to tell all the other teams who were here, just because they won doesn't mean that you didn't make the cut. It was a very, very tight race. The judges had a tough time, but we had to go by the numbers in the end. Please, all of you, scale up the campaigns. And the money that you all have won tonight is precisely for this purpose. Scale up your campaigns. We need more voices like you. And to all the rest of you, I think this brings us to the close of this 3-day conference on tackling insurgent ideologies. I thank you all very much for your time. The team at ORF has worked tirelessly for the last 2-3 months to put this together, to bring voices from as many places as we could possibly access at such short notice into one room to exchange ideas. I thank our sponsors, the Geneva Center for Security Policy, Facebook, of course, part of the Voice Positive Exchange, the British High Commission. All of you, integral partners to this exercise. Next year, as Samir, I think, said, it's not going to be 30 speakers internationally. It'll hope to be 100 speakers. But as long as we can take away from this conference and accept the fact that there are different points of view, there are different challenges, but ultimately, it's all about countering violent extremism, preventing violent extremism, whatever it takes to get some headway in that space, be it with digital media companies, people like us on the ground, students, artists. We've heard from all different walks of life, and I think each voice has been extremely important. Each country's narrative we've heard here has been extremely important to help us try and come up with more effective strategies. I hope to see you all again next year. Thank you.